Eleanor Reed was 72 years old, living in a small, weather-beaten house on the edge of a quiet American town called Maple Creek. To most people, she was invisible, just another old woman with silver hair, slow steps, and tired eyes. But Eleanor had not always been weak. 40 years ago, she was a respected schoolteacher, a woman of dignity and intelligence. She had a loving husband, Thomas Reed, and a bright future. That future was destroyed the night a powerful real estate company, Blackstone Group, decided her land was more valuable than her life. They framed Thomas in a false corruption case. Within months, he died in prison alone, broken, and innocent. Eleanor lost her home, her reputation, and her voice. No one listened to an old woman crying for justice. But Eleanor never forgot. And she never forgave. For decades, Eleanor survived quietly. She worked small jobs, lived simply, and watched the world move on. Blackstone Group became richer. Its CEO, Richard Hale, became famous, powerful, untouchable. What no one knew was that Eleanor spent every night reading logbooks, financial records, court cases. She learned patience. She learned strategy. Revenge, she believed, was not loud. It was precise. When Richard Hale announced a massive new development project in Maple Creek, the same land stolen from Eleanor, something inside her finally awakened. "The past has come back for you," she whispered to the television. Eleanor contacted a young investigative journalist named Daniel Moore. At first, he doubted her until she showed him documents she had secretly collected over 30 years. Fake witnesses. Bribed judges. Destroyed evidence. Daniel realized this was bigger than a story. This was history buried alive. Slowly, articles began appearing online, "The Dark Secrets of Blackstone Group." How innocent men were silenced. Blackstone's stock dropped for the first time in decades. Richard Hale laughed it off publicly. But at night, he couldn't sleep. Eleanor knew exposure wasn't enough. She needed confession. Using an old connection, she arranged a private meeting with Richard Hale, pretending to sell her land cheaply. Richard didn't recognize her age, had hidden her face, but not her fire. During the meeting, Eleanor calmly recorded everything. Richard spoke freely, proudly, cruelly admitting how Thomas Reed was collateral damage. Eleanor stood up, her hands steady. "My husband had a name," she said. "And now, so will your crimes." The recording went viral. Protests erupted. Lawsuits followed. The government reopened old cases. Richard Hale was arrested, this time with no escape. At the courthouse, Eleanor watched him walk in handcuffs past reporters. Their eyes met. He recognized her. For the first time in decades, Eleanor smiled. Eleanor's land was returned. A public apology was issued for Thomas Reed. A scholarship was created in his name. Eleanor didn't seek fame or money. She planted a tree on her land and placed a small plaque beneath it. "Justice may be delayed, but it never dies." The town finally saw her. Not as an old woman, but as a survivor.